in the profound architecture of our reality. There's a hidden tension between the ironclad rules of the cosmos and the fluid, almost rebellious nature of human consciousness. We often speak of the laws of physics as if they are divine decrees, unchangeable, unyielding, and absolute. But in the realm of the human brain, these laws encounter a complexity they were never designed to contain. To understand what happens when you break these laws, we must first look at the most fundamental law of all: the conservation of energy. Your brain, while only accounting for about 2% of your body weight, consumes 20% of your total metabolic energy. It is an expensive, high-powered engine running on the delicate fuel of glucose and oxygen. When you push yourself beyond what you believe is your physical breaking point, you are essentially attempting to violate the thermodynamic budget of your own biology. This is where the physics of the mind begins to warp. As you approach this red line, your brain initiates a process called homeostatic regulation, but on a much more aggressive scale. In a desperate bid to preserve the system, the brain begins to shed non-essential functions. It dampens your peripheral vision, it mutes your long-term planning, and it funnels every available joule of energy into the primitive survival centers, the amygdala and the brainstem. In this state, you aren't just a person experiencing stress. You are a biological system experiencing a critical phase transition, much like a star that becomes too dense and collapses under its own gravity. Your psyche undergoes a collapse that is actually a prerequisite for a new kind of birth. Think of the law of entropy, which dictates that all systems tend toward disorder. Your life is a daily, hourly, second-by-second defiance of this law. Every time your heart beats, every time a neuron fires a signal across a synapse, you are using energy to create order out of the chaotic soup of atoms that make up your body. When we talk about breaking the laws of physics in a psychological sense, we are talking about the moment when our internal negentropy, our ability to create order, surpasses the external pressure of chaos. This is what we call resilience, but in the language of physics, it is the mastery of open system thermodynamics. You're not a closed box. You are an open portal through which energy flows. When you feel overwhelmed, it is often because the input of the world is greater than your current output capacity. But the brain's response to this isn't just to break, it is to upgrade. Through the mechanism of long-term potentiation, your synapses literally grow stronger the more they are used. This is the biological equivalent of a bridge that gets stronger every time a heavy truck drives over it. In the physical world, materials fatigue and fail. In the neurological world, materials adapt and transcend. This is the first great violation of physics that you perform every single day. You turn friction into fuel. Let us dive deeper into the quantum metaphor of the mind. In the subatomic world, particles exist in a state of superposition. They are everywhere and nowhere until they are observed. Our thoughts often mirror this quantum reality. Before you make a decision, your mind exists in a superposition of possibilities. You are both a success and a failure, a traveler and a stay-at-home, a hero and a coward. The act of breaking the law of your current identity is much like the collapse of the wave function. When you force yourself into a new behavior, you are observing a specific version of yourself into existence. This is where the wow factor truly lies. You are the observer and the observed, the experiment and the scientist. You are the one who collapses the infinite potential of your future into the singular reality of your present. This requires an immense amount of psychological voltage. If your internal signal is weak, the wave function of your life remains blurred and stagnant. But when you increase your focus, when you sharpen the resolution of your intent, you are effectively increasing the frequency of your consciousness. In physics, higher frequency means higher energy. E equals hf. Energy equals Planck's constant times frequency. If you want more energy to change your life, you must increase the frequency of your thoughts, your actions, and your commitment. You are literally vibrating your way out of your old physical constraints. But what about the concept of time? Physics tells us that time is a dimension, a fabric that can be warped by mass and speed. In the world of neurobiology, time is even more flexible. Have you ever noticed how a minute of intense pain feels like an hour, while an hour of deep flow feels like a minute? This is because the brain doesn't track time with a mechanical clock. It tracks time through the density of information processing. When you are in a state of high arousal or deep learning, your brain takes more snapshots per second. You are essentially increasing your temporal resolution. In these moments, you are breaking the linear law of time. You are experiencing more life per second than the person sitting next to you. This is why a life of challenge and curiosity feels longer and richer than a life of comfort and repetition. By constantly seeking the new, you are stretching the fabric of your subjective time. You are becoming a master of your own internal relativity. This is the secret of the high performers, the visionaries, and the seekers. They don't have more hours in the day. They have more meaning density in their hours. Now consider the law of gravity, not the one that keeps your feet on the ground, but the psychological gravity of your past. Your habits, your traumas, and your social conditioning act like a massive planetary body, pulling you back into the same orbits day after day. To break this law of gravity, it requires what rocket scientists call escape velocity. You cannot leave the orbit of your old self with a half-hearted effort. You need a massive burst of initial energy to overcome the pull of your history. In the brain, this corresponds to the activation of the prefrontal cortex over the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is the seat of habit. It is your autopilot. The prefrontal cortex is your pilot. To break the gravity of habit, the pilot must take manual control and burn a tremendous amount of willpower, the fuel of the mind, until a new higher orbit is established. Once you reach that new height, the physics of your life changes. What was once a struggle becomes the new ground level. You have literally shifted your baseline of existence. You have redefined what is natural for you. There is a beautiful twist in this narrative of breaking laws. For years, we thought the brain was a static organ, that once you reached adulthood, your laws were set in stone. We believed in the law of decline, but the discovery of neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons in the hippocampus, shattered this belief. Even in the twilight of life, the brain can create new life. This means that the law of your limitations is actually a moving target. The only reason a limit exists is that you haven't yet applied enough pressure to force an adaptation. Your weakness is not a flaw in the design. It is a signal from the system that it is ready for an upgrade. When your muscles ache, it is the biology signaling for more protein synthesis. When your mind feels foggy after studying, it is the neural network signaling for sleep so it can consolidate the new data. The break is not the end of the road. It is the construction site of the new road. You are a work in progress that is never truly finished. You are a biological paradox, a finite being with an infinite capacity for reconfiguration. So, as we look at the vast expanse of the universe and the intricate wiring of our own minds, we realize that breaking the laws of physics is not about magic or pseudoscience. It is about understanding the deeper, hidden laws of potential that govern our evolution. It is about realizing that you are a localized concentration of energy that has the unique ability to direct its own flow. You are the architect of your own neural grid. You are the programmer of your own biological software. The laws of the universe provide the stage, but you write the script. You are not just a passenger on this cosmic journey. You are the navigator. The constraints you feel are not cages. They are the edges of the map that you are currently drawing. Beyond those edges lies the unknown, and in the unknown lies your next level of being. We must also address the law of isolation. In classical physics, objects are separate and distinct. But in quantum entanglement, two particles can be linked across the universe, reacting to each other instantaneously. This is a profound metaphor for our psychological reality. We are not isolated islands of consciousness. We are an entangled web of social and emotional signals. When you break the law of your own ego and connect deeply with others, you are tapping into a collective energy that is far greater than your own. This is the physics of synergy, where the sum of the parts is exponentially greater than the whole. By collaborating, by empathizing, and by sharing knowledge, we are collectively breaking the limits of what a single human mind can achieve. This channel, MindSpark Science, is a testament to that entanglement. We are a community of minds, all pushing against the boundaries of our understanding, all seeking to break the laws of ignorance that keep us small. As you move forward from this video, I want you to look at your life through the lens of a physicist. Where is the friction? Where is the gravity? Where is the entropy? And most importantly, where is the potential for a phase transition? You are not a static object. You are a dynamic process. You are a flame, not a stone. A flame is a constant state of transition, a continuous breaking of the fuel to create light and heat. That is what you are. You are the process of transforming the raw material of your experience into the light of wisdom. The laws of physics say that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So take the energy of your fear, your doubt, and your exhaustion, and transform it. Turn it into curiosity. Turn it into discipline. Turn it into a mind spark. Thank you for being part of this intellectual journey. If you feel that your mind has been slightly rewired today, if you feel that your internal laws have been challenged, then we have succeeded in our mission. But this is just the beginning. The universe is vast and the human mind is deeper still. To keep exploring these boundaries, to keep diving into the neuroquantum fabric of our reality, make sure you are subscribed to MindSpark Science. Your support is the energy that keeps this system running against the entropy of the digital world. Hit that like button to tell the algorithms that deep scientific thinking still matters. Share this video with someone who feels like they are at their breaking point. Let them know they are actually at their upgrading point. Leave a comment below and tell me, if you could break one law of your current reality, whether it's a habit, a fear, or a physical limit, what would it be? How would your system look after that transformation? I read every comment and I love seeing the incredible insights this community produces. Stay grounded in science, stay elevated in philosophy, and as always, keep sparking the fire of your mind. See you in the next exploration. This is MindSpark Science, signing off.